Hello and welcome to another episode of Sailing with Us. This episode is all about propellers, and choosing propellers is probably a better description. This was our standard Volvo Penta 2-blade fixed propeller, and it started to create holes in it. I don't know if it's through cavitation or whether we've got some sort of galvanic corrosion going on, but either way I've got to change it. So it came up with the choice of, do I go folding propeller? Do I replace it with another one of these? If I go for a folding propeller, do I go for 2 or 3 blades? And that's where this story starts.
Isambard Kingdom Brunel designed the first screw propulsion back in 1845 for SS Great Britain. It took him a few attempts to get the design right, but we're fortunate these days, and as much as we can just pop down to the Southampton Boat Show and see what propellers are available to us. After visiting numerous manufacturers' stands, we narrowed our choice down to just 2. When choosing our new propellers, reliability and performance are top of our priorities. Could you imagine the mayhem caused if the propeller failed going under this bridge in Lowestoft? Before I go any further, I need to explain this video isn't going to be full of facts and figures, like how many pounds of thrust does each propeller produce, or how quick can we stop in reverse from full speed. No, this is real life. What are they really like to live with?
The only fact we will give you is our boat is only 30 foot long. Who says size matters?
When the wind gods are in our favour, and we get the opportunity to turn off the engine, it's absolute bliss. Silence. Well, almost. Unless you put the gearbox into reverse, there's a constant whine of a windmilling propeller from the engine bay. Reducing drag and therefore unwanted noise was the main reason we went for folding propellers and didn't stick with our fixed. Gori were recommending a 2-blade prop and Flexofold of 3. It had always been our intention to get a spare, so we ordered both. So, how do they stack up? Our Bavaria is fitted with a left-hand prop, therefore she kicks to starboard in reverse. I put a couple of arrow decals above the Morse control, just as a reminder.
Due to Rob's post-stroke mobility problems, we usually back into a slip and more stern too. He won't thank me for saying this, but after 40 years of practice he's getting the hang of it.
All those years ago, my sailing instructor was an ex-RAF pilot. He constantly reminded me that once flying, it was all about navigation and trimming the aircraft. The important bit is takeoff and landing. That's so true about boats. I always feel somebody's watching me, just waiting to see me make a mistake. One of the criticisms often bandied around about folding propellers is they are slow to respond in reverse. Both the Flexofold and the Gori performed flawlessly, providing power at low engine RPM. I know nothing of how to match a propeller to a boat, so getting the manufacturer's recommendation and specification is critical. For those boat owners who regularly sail on the east coast of England, you will know about the uncomfortable east coast chop. The uneven and irregular waves make punching through the chop a challenge. This is the first and only instance the 3-blade marginally outperformed the 2-blade, helping to keep the boat underway. Moored up alongside a non-tidal pontoon, I thought I'd have a look underwater and see how the blades are performing. This is the propeller in reverse. If you look closely, you can see that the blades are not fully opened. However, as soon as forward is engaged, they fully deploy. As a matter of interest, Look how the Flexofold blades start to close in neutral, even though there's no way on the boat. So, how do they perform under sail? Well, in a strong breeze there's nothing to choose, all three making maximum hull speed achievable. Light airs is where the difference can be noted, with the folded two-blade propeller being slightly more efficient. How about installation? The first job to do is check you've got continuity between the anode and the metal surrounding it. Easiest way is just to use a tester. There we are, we've got good continuity there. All three propellers require the original spacer to go on. Just slots on there. Next job is to make sure the threads are spotlessly clean. I like to use this solvent cleaner. Now this is the main body of the Flexofold 3-blade, and it's made of two parts with a nylon bush pressed between the two of them, and you can see the splines inside there. Darglow Engineering, who provide the Flexofold product, also provide a special Loctite. Apparently it's not affected by salt water. So with a little blob of Loctite applied, you need a 22mm socket and a short extension, and just put it on gently. Now the instructions say it needs to be torqued down to 68 Newton meters, which is 50 foot-pound. So I've set my torque wrench ready, and you can use one of the blades to hold the body still while you torque it up. Next item is the locking bolt. Don't forget it needs a little locking tab. You can see that there, and a blob of Loctite. So looking inside the hub, we've got the locking nut, the securing nut, and this is the little tab that's got to be bent over. So got one half of the washer bent over holding the lock nut, and the other half holding the retaining nut. The blades are held in almost identically to the Gori propeller. They have these pins with a notch cut out of them. You can see that there. And with a shouldered machine screw, you can see that, which holds the pin in its location. The blades can go on in any sequence, so makes things easier. The recommended torque setting for the three retaining screws are 12 Newton meters. Next is the three screws on the cover plate. They are 5 Newton meters, which is 3.6 foot-pound. Not very much. And lastly, the icing on the cake, or rather the anode on the prop, just goes in over the 3 screws. we're ready for a launch. So to summarise, choosing between the propellers is difficult. Yes, it's that close. Perhaps with a bigger boat the 3-blade would have been a preference. However, if price is a key factor, then go for the 2-blade. It's half the price. Before I finish this video, guys, I have one last top tip, and I just hope my dear wife Angie doesn't get to see this. But just pop the components of the propeller into the dishwasher. It'll get rid of all the crustaceans. They come out nice and gleaming, and the smell of lemon too. Thanks for watching. Bye.